Logan?
Yes, we are back on the record on the Children's Aid Society of Toronto and the Logan Choy matter. Yes, so Ms. O'Byrne, you had an opportunity to speak with the father?
I did, Your Honor. It's unfortunately still not clear to me whether Mr. Choy is going to sign a form for or not.
All right, and you, from your perspective, no, nothing has changed in relation to the status of that relationship?
That is correct.
All right, thank you. So, Ms. O'Byrne, you may be wanting a motion date then, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor, yes.
As soon as possible would be best, ma'am.
All right.
She's trying to tell me she wants to wait 2 months to 6 weeks longer. I cannot do that.
I see. So, so Mr. Choy, one of the options is that Ms. O'Byrne may email you the form for notice of change of representation. If that's what you agree, that you'll be self-represented. Otherwise, we will set a date where she's asking to come to court to obtain a court order to be removed as your employer, right? And if she would,
That would take longer.
Yeah, if she brought that motion, you would be served with it, and you would have an opportunity to decide whether you agreed with it or not.
Because of the breach of interest, obviously, I know she wants to be off the records because of interest. She's conflict of interest. I understand. I've been for a year, so I know these things. I know the law now.
All right.
She breached a conflict.
All right. So what I'm going to do is, because we're not going to address that today, but I'm going to give Ms. O'Byrne a date for that motion.
If she wants to be removed from it and I represent myself, yes, I would do that myself. I just want to know how
So,
to
Mr.
represent.
Choy, just one moment. So first of all, let's do the date, and then if you decide to sign the form before the date, that's fine. She'll just file it with the court for you. So, Ms. O'Byrne, are you available on March 6th at 9:30? You're on mute, Ms. O'Byrne?
Yeah, yes, I apologize. Yes, I am.
March 6th.
And March 6th, Mr. Choy, that's about 2 weeks. It's a Monday, so it's first Monday in March, and it's 2 weeks from now at 9:30. Is that fine? Yes. And if you want, if you download the Zoom app to your phone, you could do that. I'll mark it for video attendance, which might be more convenient if you wish. If you download the app, it's a free app at the App Store, and then you can just click the link and connect. All right. So that's March 6th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, I know it's, sorry.
Yes.
When I was in court, when the umbrella, because I had worked 4 years ago, and the umbrella got dropped, which there is no reason for my daughter to be out of my care or any danger to my daughter. And I'm not having any home visit, and everywhere I went, yesterday I had a visit, and they called the cops on me because I was too early for my visit. I got assaulted as well.
All right. So, Ms. Freed, the father seems to be concerned about the access arrangements that are currently in place for the child, and from what he said, it doesn't appear to be satisfactory to him.
And my daughter's also seeing it all happen all the time. It's not good for her.
All right. So, would he be able to contact Ms. Dillon to speak to her about making other arrangements for access?
At my home would be perfect.
Certainly, Your Honor. I do actually have quite a fulsome update about access. and I can certainly shed some light, or at least from the society's perspective, about
All right,
access.
so if you could, then please do that, and then we will all have whatever information you wish to share.
Thank you, Your Honors. So, Mr. Choy first met with Ms. Dillon at the beginning of January when he was released. He was being held in custody, and the society very quickly arranged visits at its office. There were 5 visits that occurred at the office. And then the society decided to move visits into the home of the paternal grandparents, and only 2 visits have taken place at their home. I believe the last visit was February 8th, in or around February 8th.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yesterday.
Yes, so Mr. Choy, you'll get an opportunity to
Okay,
respond,
sorry,
but Mr.
sorry.
Choy has just interjected that there apparently was a visit yesterday.
Well, I will get to that, Your Honor.
Did not go according to him very smoothly, but yes, if you could proceed.
Yes, thank you. So there were 2 visits that occurred in the home of the paternal grandparents. To the society's knowledge, there have been no other visits since February 8th because Mr. Choy would either confirm with the society and then not attend the visit, or he would not be available when the society access worker contacted him to conduct the screening calls. The society is still conducting COVID screening calls. What I can advise is that when Mr. Choy is able to focus on his daughter, he demonstrates good parenting skills. However, there has been a common theme, and the visits are fully supported by the society. There is a common theme that was observed both at the society's office, but more so when the visits moved to the grandparents' home. Mr. Choy tends to get distracted. He engages with the society workers about his various issues that he has with the society. He engages with his mother about various issues he has with her, with the care she's providing to his daughter. He speaks about things such as financial issues and other topics of conversation that are not really appropriate for access. The workers have tried to redirect him to focus on his access with his daughter and to address other issues with the worker outside of access times. With respect to yesterday, the visit was scheduled for the afternoon. Mr. Choy is aware of the dates and times for the access.
No, I'm not.
He attended at his mother's home in the morning, outside of the access time. There are terms of supervision currently in place indicating he's not to attend his parents' home without the consent of the society, and so he did attend the home outside of the scheduled access time. I can advise that the kinship service support worker, Mr. Craig Gostin, was scheduled to attend the grandparents' home in the morning anyways to review some forms with the paternal grandmother and to deliver some developmental toys for the child. Prior to his attendance at the home, he received approximately a 5-minute long voicemail message in which he could hear Mr. Choy and his mother arguing and Alicia crying intermittently in the background. And that was concerning to the society because that's not the first time society has observed Mr. Choy and his mother arguing and engaging in conflict. This has occurred during the visits. The society is also aware of other occasions where Mr. Choy has attended the home. We believe it's been somewhat benign to drop off items for the child. At this point, the society no longer supports visits happening in the home of the paternal grandparents. It just does not seem like a conducive environment given the engagement and level of conflict. And so we are now recommending that visits return to the society's office, which is a bit more of a controlled space. It's also a bigger space. The home of the paternal grandparents is quite small and confined. Society is prepared to consider making a referral to Ujima House if that is something Mr. Choy would be open and interested in. And the workers can certainly have a further conversation with him about what Ujima House is, the support it provides. And so that is the Society's update with respect to access.
I see, all right, thank you. And currently then, the court order that's in place, the temporary access order, is that the father have access only at the discretion of the society, supervised in the society's discretion. And the society was to have the discretion to determine the duration, frequency, level of supervision, and location of that access. And it was to be in accordance with any bail conditions or terms of release. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor. And so the Society did offer access, schedule access twice per week, 2 hours per visit. So that's how the Society decided to exercise its discretion with respect to frequency and duration. And for the time being, the Society is continuing to recommend the visits be supervised.
All right, and is, so you said the society is now exercising its discretion to have the visits at the society's offices. Would there be a structured schedule of specific days of the week and times?
I believe we are continuing to recommend the same dates and time.
And what
That
were
won't
they,
be disrupted.
do you know?
Perhaps Ms. Dillon could just remind me or advise the court.
Yes, Ms. Dillon?
Sure. Thursdays, they are 10 to 12, and then on Tuesdays, they had been from 1 to 3. But starting, commencing next week, they will be 11:30 to 1:30 since we're moving it into the office. So it's just based on the availability of the rooms.
I see.
And this has been communicated with Mr. Choy through various phone calls as well as email.